Hello, my name is Valentina Mendez, and today I'm gonna be explaining Blue Ribbon Commissions. So, Blue Ribbon Approach is a group of people that provides information and suggestions on the subject discussed. This can be used for policymaking, planning, business projects, institutions, local community goals, and other. This tool approach is a way of facilitating the process of deliberation because it provides with in-depth and reliable details to participants to understand what they're going to be discussing. Also, this approach is constituted with members, and advisors are then selected based on the level of expertise and experience in the field. It is important to note that they do not have any kind of authority on the final decision. They just provide with guidelines that may facilitate the deliberative process and clarify some questions that participants may have. There is the scientific, that is all the fields that have to do with engineering or medical research. Then we have local government that are like the policy makers. We have non-profit organizations. We have communities that can decide on people that have more experience within the neighborhood and also guide future neighbors. Independent entities that are supported by governments and foundations or even colleges. And then in my case study, I'm gonna describe how the president created a specific commission for the study. I think this picture really portrays what Blue Ribbon Commissions want to achieve, because we see how the guy is desperate about having more information because he cannot decide. And the lady in the back is like, oh, it's just paper or plastic. I think this is a great example because it portrays how participants do not always have the knowledge on every topic discussed on a deliberative process. The role of Blue Ribbon Commissions is to clarify the possible questions or doubts that participants may have in decision making. This is why providing external perspective can be so effective. Recommendations and information can clarify audience's questions, and this bipartisan aspect introduced by Jordan Tama in Crisis Commissions and Reform: The Impact of Blue Ribbon Panels really highlights how these commissions can work as allies for decision making. Bipartisan means involving the agreement or cooperation of two political parties that oppose each other. So this means that it helps mitigate polarized parties to reach common ground. Now I'm going to be talking about the implementation of Blue Ribbons Commissions. So first, it's the selecting experts, which is like targeting the commission that best suit the subject that will be discussed. Within this, the members will decide whether they all will do the report or if they will select the representatives. Then they will conduct background research about the issue that is going to be analyzed, and with this, what they aim to do is have field studies. They can make interviews, surveys, to have a better notion of what they are going to be explaining. Then we have the panel meetings, that is more internal of the commission, and advisors can meet shortly or can take a long time to reach common ground. Once they reach consensus and they have deliberate all the options and relevant information, they will reach consensus and they will start writing the final report with recommendations for the main deliberative process. Finally, as I mentioned before, they do not have the authority to take the final decision, but they will hope that their recommendations will be used wisely and they will be implemented in the final decision of the deliberative process. So for pros and cons, we have political credibility as an advantage because they're independent from governments. They have a lot of neutrality. Due to the expertise, they are considered a reliable source. They have a detached and unbiased relationship to the main deliberative process. Due to the bipartisan aspect, they can help mitigate polarized groups, and they are really flexible in the scale of the issues, going through local to global. In the cons, we have that there could be a shortage of people that are expert in the subject, in the specific subject. Recommendations can be generalized and not taking into account financial positions of the community or business, can be time consuming, and it is proven by the research of TAMA that smaller commission groups reach consensus faster than larger commission groups. Now I'm going to be talking about the case study of the Inter-American Bank of Development, which seeks advice on how to implement effective policies for projects in Latin America and Caribbean regions, and at the same time preserving economical, social, and environmental aspects. The president of the IDB created a specific Blue Ribbon panel on environment, which I found interesting because the 9 members that formed part of this commission had really different backgrounds. One was international ambassador, another was a minister, EPA administrators, UN secretaries, and also they had different nationalities and field of studies. The timeline of this commission was really spread apart. First, it starts in September 2004 with a closed session to gather information about IDB, stakeholders that are external or internal, and identify challenges and risks that IDB could face. The second meeting in 2005 included a retreat with the IDB staff because they wanted to get to know the inside perspectives of the company. Once the panel reached consensus, the final report was released in 2005, and it had around 20 recommendations about possible solutions. I found really interesting that the panel decided to meet with NGO groups twice, one in Washington, D.C. and the other one in Ecuador, to collect more information of civil society's perspective. Finally, the report was divided into 4 main issues, and each one had a general context followed by the respective recommendations. The IDB president agreed with all the recommendations and set up a 3-year period to implement the guidelines. Also, the panel suggested to have a progress report from the IDB, semi-annual and annual, to monitor the improvement and management. In this specific case, the recommendations were successful and created more value to the commission. These are my references. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.